of our Fiery Embers show, which is sort of like the little sister of our fireside chat show. Today, I'm going to be joined by Coach Jamie North. She is a lover of bicycles, animals, running, photography, zooming around on her one wheel, craft beers, and hard cider, which we'll have to talk to her about, especially when it comes to pairing that with pizza, as well as heart-to-heart conversations, which is exactly what we're going to have now. So let me bring forward Coach Jamie North. Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining me. How are you?
Hi, Jason. Great. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic. So your profile says you're a lover of craft beers and ciders. I'm going to give you a pizza, and you're going to tell me if it's going to go best with a craft cider or a beer. You ready?
Okay. All right.
White pizza with Calabrian chilies, mushrooms, and olives.
Ooh, that is definitely going to go better with a beer. I'd even go as far as to say probably a Hefeweizen.
I have no idea what that means, but sounds awesome. I was going to say God bless you, but I don't think you actually sneezed when you said that.
Oh my gosh.
Red pizza with pepperoni. Red sauce pizza with pepperoni gets?
Ooh, that could go either way. I think if I'd go with a beer, I'd probably go with a dark beer with that one, or a cider, like a dry cider. Nothing too sweet, a little on the drier side.
Perfect. All right. So now that I've got my pizza out of the way and your love of beer and ciders, we can have dinner together because I don't drink, but it's all good.
Nice.
Which brings me to my next pizza question. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Don't screw it up.
Don't screw up. Well, it depends. If I need the extra sugar, sure, why not? If I'm about to go do a epic long ride, yeah, sure, why not?
You do realize you could just put pineapple in a bowl with other fruit. You don't have to like put it on the pizza, right? If you need extra sugar. Okay, you're a lover of bicycles and a runner. Which do you prefer? Would you rather get out on two wheels or would you rather use your 2 feet?
If I can, I'd prefer to get out on the bike. I really enjoy the wind in my face, being able to go just a little bit farther, get away from. When I exercise, it's my quiet time. It's my peace away from time. So if I can ride, I prefer to ride for sure.
Mountain bike, tri-bike, road bike, cross bike, gravel bike. Which are you going with?
My first pick right now is my gravel bike. I can kind of ride from my house to where I want to go. I can stay on the road if I want to. And if I happen to see a nice little trail that's calling my name, I can just jump on it and go.
By the way, there are 2 people in this world who I get really jealous of when it comes to hair. Tan on Queer Eye and you, because this is what I get to work with. And look at that head of hair. Like, it's fantastic.
It's my Italian roots.
I have our Food Fight Friday, which is going to come out at noon, is all about Italian deli or restaurant sandwiches.
Ooh.
So you have got to chime in if you have Italian roots.
Yeah.
So let's go down that path. Let's talk about Italian food. What's the one dish that you can have for the rest of your life? It's only one, though. You only get one dish.
I would have to say that has got to be my mom's homemade red sauce and meatballs with any type of pasta. Yeah.
Just on a plate, right? You don't even need to put it on pasta or anything.
Oh, the pasta is always nice, but yeah, her red sauce and her meatballs were just so good. Yeah, I know. Here it comes.
Hey, I'm from New York. We got plenty of Italians running around New York, and like when you tell people like just put the bowl of the meatball on the platter, it doesn't need anything else. They're shocked. They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's so good. It doesn't need anything else."
Yep. Done right, that meatball, you could eat it on its own.
What's the thing that your mother would serve then that you're like, "No, I'm not interested in that."
Oh gosh.
By the way, Mom, don't worry about it. She's going to eat it anyway.
As a kid, I hated meatloaf. It was so dry and I just couldn't do it.
What? I love meatloaf. I love it.
I love it now. I make my own. I make it better. But yeah,
As a
as a kid, mm-mm.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely love meatloaf. Like, I don't eat, meat anymore, plant-based diet,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
if I was to have, like, a last meal, part of me is like, it's gotta be meatloaf with mashed potatoes, corn, and peas,
Yes. Mm.
right?
Miss those mashed potatoes.
And then you can make the sandwich the day after. Yeah, I mean, you
My
can't go
gosh.
wrong with a meatloaf sandwich. See?
Yes. Yep. This is good stuff. Is it lunchtime yet?
It's always lunchtime in my house, that's for sure.
Yes.
Are you the kind of person that jumps right into the pool, or do you have to dip your toe in the water to make sure that the temperature's just right before you get in there?
Well, if I dip my toe, I'm running away. It's either jump in or I'm not going at all.
Like, as a triathlete, like, most of us are, like, late onset swimmers, and
Mhm.
we're paranoid and petrified of the water, and it's like, "Just get me through this. I don't care if I swim, a minute 30 per 100 or 2 minutes per 30 per 100, just get me out of the
I'm
water."
finished.
When you started in triathlon, was
Mhm.
that the same feeling? Like, "Okay, I just gotta get through this, let me get on my bike," my favorite part?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I actually had to learn how to swim when I first got into this because I hadn't swam since I was a kid in, junior high, high school, whatever it was. So teaching myself to swim in a pool was a first step. And then jumping into the water out here, started in some reservoirs, started safe. But yeah, getting into that ocean was such a hard thing. And then as soon as I was in, I was like, okay, when is this over? When is this over? When is this over? It's cold, it's dark, we got animals in the water out here. It's like,
You
I
touch
want out.
something, right? You touch something, you're like, "Ah."
Oh, I think that was just kelp. Nope, that was a sea lion this time.
How do sharks greet each other? Do they
Oh,
bump noses? Do they touch fins like they're high-fiving each other, kinda? Do they turn around and smack their tails? How do they greet each other?
oh, that is a great question. I'm guessing they probably give each other like high fives or something. And then they're like, hey, see that human? Let's go.
Have you seen the movie Jaws?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Were you petrified to get in the water after that movie?
When I first started triathlon, I was petrified because out here we swim in Santa Cruz and people were always talking about these shark sightings. And I was like, I am not going in that water. And one person said to me, they're like, what makes you think you're any more special? Why do you think the shark's going to go after you? I was like, all right, I'm not special. And then I just have to keep telling myself, I'm not special. I'm not special.
What's so funny is, right, like, in trail running, people are like, "If there's a bear out there, all you have to do is be faster than the slowest runner, because if the bear catches that person, they're gonna stop and eat." But, like, in the water, I don't envision that. I just envision the shark like Homer Simpson eating donuts, right?
It keeps coming.
All of it.
Yeah, so fast. Yeah, no, I don't want to think about that.
Would you ever consider Alcatraz doing the race?
I don't think so. I just don't have. I've moved on from the water sports. I still coach it, but for myself, I just I've got other things that make me nervous. I don't need that too.
I'll take risks anywhere else but that.
Yep, exactly.
Think about this, right? It's cold,
Mhm.
typically very choppy waters.
Yeah.
And then you have, I don't know how many participants, 500, 1,000, 2,000, jumping in the water, looking like a whole bunch of sea lions covered in, wetsuits and
Mhm.
sharks in the area.
Yeah.
The,
I
the
know.
math ain't mathing.
And you never hear about people getting bit, but I'm still just like, no. Mm-mm.
I'll go run 100 miles. I'll go run 300 miles. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you talked about, you're coaching athletes with
Mhm.
triathlon. So talk to us a little bit about, North Fitness and Coach Jamie North. Who are you coaching? Who are you looking to coach? What are the types of athletes you're looking for to help get through triathlon and other endurance sports?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, my background is in sports medicine and strength training, so I kind of focus on that. So a lot of my athletes that come to me, my main things I look for are women who are in peri and postmenopause, because there's a lot of changes that go on with the body that um, traditional research and information that's out there doesn't really apply to their training. There's different things that they need to be doing. So that's kind of my big focus, making sure that they get the right information, that they're training the right way so that they can continue to stay strong and be able to, kick ass or whatever it is they want to do. Am I allowed to say that on here? Sorry.
Absolutely. This is not a PG show whatsoever.
Cool. Awesome. So postmenopause are kind of like my main focus, but also people who've been dealing with injuries or nagging, like, oh, my hamstring's been bugging me. Like, they can still do stuff, but it's just not going away. Whatever it is they're doing, it's just not going away. So I'd like to work with them to help them figure out, one, what's causing it, and then how can we make sure that we can get you past that, get you back into triathlon where you want it to be, and then not have that continue to recur. So that's kind of where I add into that strength and PT type history. And then, the general strength stuff, I just really love doing that. So anybody who's interested in not being afraid of the weight room, because so many triathletes are like, I don't have time for the weight room. I don't want to get big and bulky. I'm like, okay, first off, you're not spending enough time there. You're not going to get big and bulky.
Endurance athletes in general, runners don't want to do it. Swimmers typically don't want to do it either. Like endurance athletes in general, like, I don't want to go to the gym. I finally went back just earlier this week after training for the Lake Sonoma 50. And like I did legs on Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday was just horrible. Like, you forget, right? When you don't do this stuff, how sore you get.
Yeah.
Are you coaching sport specific as well beyond just triathlon? Are you coaching cycling only or swimming only or running only as well?
I do take them out. So when people come to me, I generally focus on also kind of the newer, not completely new, but they've done a few races and they're just kind of breaking into it. Sorry, I forgot what the question was. Wow.
Sport specific.
Sports specific, yeah. So they'll come to me. They'll have some knowledge of cycling, swimming, running. A lot of time it comes down to working with them on their swim technique and their bike technique. Learning how to shift the gears on the bike. Sometimes they're like grinding and all of a sudden their chain falls off. And I teach them how they can keep riding while that chain is off, get it chain back on and keep going so they don't have to have the, greasy fingers and whatnot.
Might need a lesson.
It's life changer on the bike. But yeah, definitely take them out for the swims. We've got a couple of nice reservoirs here where we can actually get some open water. I've got a nice big stand-up paddleboard that I go in the water with, so I can kind of videotape from above and be right there for them to hold on to if they need to, if they get tired or whatnot. So that's really helpful. And then, yeah, same thing with running. We've got a lot of trails around here, so I'll take them out on the trails, check into their form, see how they're running, work on them with, their pack. As you know, you've got to bring everything with you when you're out on those trails, make sure they understand how to pack it right and understand how much water, where the water works best for them. Some people like it on their back, some people like it on the front, just kind of figuring all that stuff out so that they can continue on doing it on their own.
So you talk about getting on the trail, getting in the water with them and everything else. Are your clients going to be predominantly in your area, and what is that area? And do you also coach virtually?
Yeah, most of my clients, I'd say probably 95% of my clients are local. So I can see them in person if we need to do some in-person stuff. I have one person that's just virtual right now. He's not that far away, but he's like 2 hours away, I think. So most of the stuff that we've been doing has been, through the Training Peaks app. I've got a Train Heroic app for the strength stuff. And then we check in weekly to see how things are going. And every once in a while, he does actually come up this way, or I'll meet him halfway. And so we can do some stuff. But yeah, most of my people are close, but I definitely still do a little bit of that kind of outreach.
And where is that at?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, locally. So, yeah, just here. So
our phones know a lot of stuff, but they're just not going to be able to pick that up if I'm watching it from Illinois.
Right. Yeah, so I'm in Bay Area, California. My home gym base is in Mountain View. I also work out of San Jose, and I'm also close to Morgan Hill, so kind of that South Bay area.
Awesome. And are the people that you're training, they're race goals anywhere from sprint to Ironman, from 5K to marathon, from century rides to just getting started? Like where's that area look like? What does that look like?
Yeah. So I do have people coming to me for the whole gamut. My specialty is on the shorter distance for triathlon, but I also work with ultra runners. So it's kind of an ultra cyclist too. But for the triathlon stuff, I really like that the shorter stuff, focusing on getting people faster and stronger without having to spend 12 to 20 hours a week training for the longer stuff.
Just had this conversation yesterday where I was asked if I was going to go back to racing Ironman. And I was like, I don't know that there's 15 to 20 hours in a week just floating around right now that I'd be able to find to get out there. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I think about it now. I'm like, wow, I actually did that. Okay.
Yeah, I've done 8 of them, trained for 9. And it's like, where was that time? It's crazy. You mentioned ultra cycling. What is that?
Uh, so 200Ks, 300Ks, 400Ks, these long endurance rides. There's a thing out here called the Furnace Creek 508. I've worked with some people for that. I forget, point to point, ridiculously long. You can do it as a solo or as a team. And it's some crazy stuff.
Run through Death Valley? Is that something that runs through Death
I
Valley?
believe so.
I think I've heard of that. I think I've heard of that event. Like, I love my bike, but I'm good at 112, 120 miles. Like, I'm
Then I'm
out.
done. Yeah. Anything over 200K for me on the bike, and I'm like, it's just not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to be out there, especially like if you're on a tri bike, and so you're getting down into that aero position. And look, as comfortable as bike fits make you, after 6-7 hours, something is going to give eventually, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. Let me tap out. Let me get off and walk a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you have on tap for yourself? Are there events that you're looking to compete in?
Yeah, so I actually have a race tomorrow. I'm heading down to Lake San Antonio, is that the name of it? Yeah, Lake San Antonio. See, my brain does not work these days.
Geography is not your friend.
No, where's my calendar? Okay, yeah, good. So I got a sprint duathlon tomorrow. And then I'm actually going to Duathlon Nationals in June. And there's 3 races this year that I'm going to do. So they've got a super sprint time trial, and these are all duathlon. The draft legal sprint duathlon, and then a team duathlon, a team relay.
Whoa,
that's a new one this year. Yeah.
How does that work?
So you got 4 people, 2 men, 2 women, and each person does the whole course. So it's run, bike, run,
Okay.
then the second person goes, third person, then fourth person.
Gotcha.
So it's, if you've ever watched, what is that called? Super League. They're kind of trying to follow in suit like that.
Gotcha. Oh gosh, and not like you, I've just lost my question. Like, I'm so fascinated by this idea. Oh, is our nationals in Milwaukee again this year, or is it in a different location?
So this one is, so for duathlon, they do it as part of the multi-sports instead of the triathlon. So this one's actually in Omaha. So I'll be flying out to Nebraska. Yeah.
Does the traf legal, does that worry you? Like,
no, I came from a background of bike racing, so I'm used to shoulder bumping and all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
Are you a crit racer? Do you do crit racing?
I used to. I don't anymore. I'm a little bit older.
Shit is bananas.
It's crazy.
Shit is bananas.
It's so crazy.
I saw it in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I saw it in McKinney. These athletes are whipping around 20, 25, 30 miles an hour, sharp turns, packed up tight. Like,
Yeah. Some of the craziest things, I remember going around a turn with a group of women, and we were literally leaning on each other. Like, I could feel both of my shoulders. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into?
Prepare for that.
Group riding in groups, and just
say to your neighbor, hey, I'm going to elbow you right now.
Yeah, you're coming with me. Let's go. Grab my shoulder. Come on.
Like, that's like, look, I told you in the green room, like, I
Oh,
like mountain biking. I don't love it
mhm.
because I like my teeth in my mouth. So, like, mountain biking is not the thing that I'm gonna run out to do, and crit racing is never going to happen, ever.
Mm. It's the crits. I'm definitely done with the crits. I wouldn't mind going back and trying another road race, but yeah, the crits. Mm-mm.
Alright, let's get back to food.
Ooh, ooh, here we go. Yes.
You get to have one last meal. This could be bigger than mom's meatball.
Ooh.
Get to have one last meal before you and Matt Damon blast off into outer space and live on Mars eating sweet
Mhm.
potatoes for the rest of your lives. And I'm going to preface this with the funniest answer I have ever gotten
Oh
about this
yeah.
question.
Okay.
I asked Jennifer Comfort this question, and her response, after some hesitation, but not much, was wheat thins. And I don't know that I've ever laughed so hard in my life. See? Of all the options in the world, of
Yeah.
all the options in the world, her brain went to wheat thins. So if
Wow.
you've got something better than cardboard, you're ahead of the game.
Oh no. I've been asked that before, and I usually say like steak, like a nice steak dinner.
Oh, you
But
gotta
you
eat
know,
this for the rest of your life. That's it, nothing else.
this is the only thing I can eat for the rest of life.
This is your last meal before you blast off
Okay.
to
Okay.
eating a sweet potato. So this is literally the last thing you're gonna eat for the rest of your life because now you're gonna eat sweet potatoes.
Listen to your yeah. Okay, so you know what? If it's the last time that I ever get to have sweets, I am going to have a full on smorgasbord of all of my favorite sweets that I've ever had, from donuts to York peppermint patties to
You're
you name
breaking
it.
the rules. You're breaking the rules.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
get to eat one thing, not
No
one
way.
tableful of things.
All right. All right. One thing. Oh, you're making this hard.
I'm a hard-hitting journalist.
All right. You know what? One thing I have not had in a very long time and I really miss is again, going to the sweets, is a Boston cream donut. Like, come on, a little bit of everything. I'd say, yeah, let's go with that.
It's so
Give me the
funny,
sweets.
like,
Here we go.
I love crème brûlée, I'll eat crème brûlée, but I can't eat a Boston cream donut or any donut that has the custard in it. I don't know if it's because it's missing that, crunchy sugar texture on the top,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
like, a Boston cream donut just from
Mm.
I'm allergic to those, let's put it that way.
Add some peanuts on top, maybe.
Now you're getting out of hand. Brownies. Are you
Ooh,
the kind of person who eats the edge or the kind of person that eats the gooey center?
I like the corner. I like it
Like,
half and half. I want a little gooey and I want a little crunchy.
do you ever eat Sicilian pizza? Sicilian style pizza?
I know
It's
I'm
it's
Italian.
it's
What
basically flat, like,
what's that?
it's, almost like bruschetta, right? Like,
Okay.
it's cooked in a tray, basically, and it
Hmm.
has like a brownie. Think about a brownie tray, but it's pizza.
Okay.
And you always like, whenever I was a kid going to the pizzeria in the Bronx in Manhattan, like, you had to, like, hopefully the corner slice of the Sicilian was still there because that was the best.
Mm, nice.
What are you putting on top of your brownie? What flavor ice cream?
Mm. Oh, what flavor ice cream? I'm gonna go with vanilla bean, French
Right,
vanilla bean. Yeah.
right. I'm gonna tell you, you're doing it all wrong.
Oh
You gotta
no.
use coffee ice cream or coffee gelato
Oh, all right.
because as it melts, especially if you put it in a mug,
Uh-huh.
as it melts, it almost becomes like a mocha. It's so good.
Ooh.
So good.
Ooh, all right.
Blows everything else away.
I would give that a try.
Are you a peanut butter and jelly fan?
Love peanut butter and jelly.
All right. So how do you make your peanut butter and jelly? Do you go peanut butter on one slice of the bread, jelly on the other slice, smash them together, or do you go peanut butter topped by jelly and then top the bread?
I do each, I lay them down next to one another. I get my peanut butter, I get my jelly, and then I smush them together.
Have you always done that ever since a kid?
Yeah. Yep.
So do you remember Goober, the peanut butter and jelly in the same
Right
jar?
together. Yeah.
Is that out for you? Is that something you'll never use?
I've never had it. I remember seeing it as a kid. My mom was like, "No way," and so I've stuck with that. No way. Mm-mm. I know that I put them together. I know I put them together on my own, but you can't put it together for me.
It like I love the idea, but they made it so sweet, like it
Oh
just
my
kills
god.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you've got your peanut butter and jelly. It's on the plate.
Mhm.
Do you cut it into two triangles, two rectangles, four triangles, or four squares?
Oh, two rectangles. I'm just kind of, I'm just square like that.
And are you jamming the whole thing into your face hole?
If I'm hungry enough.
Crust and all?
Oh yeah.
So we interviewed Shannon Minch. I can't remember her last name. And I asked her the same question. And what
Mhm.
she told me is she cuts it into a rectangle, but because she doesn't like the crust on bread, she turns it and eats it like corn on the cob. I thought it was the greatest answer ever.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Why don't you just cut the crust off?" And she's like, "'Cause
Yeah.
then the jelly will get on your fingers with the handles,
Right.
basically, right?
Yeah.
Your hands." I was like, "This is fascinating."
That's great.
Because I'm fancy,
Hmm.
I cut mine into 4 triangles, and I pretend
Ooh,
like I'm eating them tapas style, so you get a little bit, 'cause I'm super
yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. British tea time style.
Yeah. I don't think the queen is having me over, or I guess the king now, she's gone.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I don't think they're having me over anytime soon for any tea.
Yeah.
So speaking of tea, do
Hmm.
you prefer coffee or tea?
I'm a coffee person for sure. Love my coffee.
Black or americano, macchiato,
Oh.
cappuccino, espresso? Where you going?
Mhm. My everyday coffee is just coffee with oat milk. But when I go out, I like to get a little crazy and get a mocha.
See?
Mhm.
Now brownie with an ice cream, coffee
Yep.
ice cream or coffee gelato, right up your alley.
Dip it right in there while I'm eating.
Recently discovered Seattle fog, London fog. They probably have it in San Francisco too. San Francisco fog. Have you ever had
Mhm.
those?
I have not.
It's fantastic. So it's basically a tea latte.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
unbelievable. So like if you're not interested in getting the caffeine from the coffee, excuse me,
Yeah.
later in the day, so like at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I go get
Yeah.
myself a London fog, or here they have a
Mm,
Seattle fog.
nice.
So good.
Yes. Love it. Oh, that's cool.
Do
Nice.
you do you watch the NFL? Do you pay attention to football at all?
No, I'm not a football at all
So
kind of person.
So you and your family then will just have to tune in to because the Giants have a player. His name is Tommy DeVito. He played at Southern Illinois. Yeah, exactly. Played at
Uh,
Southern Illinois, and he's now on the Giants. And last season, he came in and replaced the starting quarterback Daniel Jones, and he was playing well, right? And New York's got a big Italian population,
oh.
and they just loved him. And his celebration after he threw a touchdown pass, it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic.
That's super
Jamie,
cool.
we've taken up so much of your time. I really appreciate chatting with you. Besides being on social media, what's your website link so those who are interested in being coached by you can go and check you out and subscribe to your newsletter?
Yeah, yeah. On my website is just coachjamienorth.com.
And by the
All
way, Jamie is Jamii.
it's the better to
So,
see.
yeah. Perfect. Jamie, thank you so much for your time. Good
Thank
luck this
you.
weekend racing. Looking forward to seeing the post that says you had a great race out there. Enjoy the weekend outside of racing as well.
Awesome. You too. Thank you so much.